Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah, Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching us this truth. And also want to acknowledge all of the Akim who are out on the highways and byways, pushing this truth week in and week out in sincerity. Okay, so I'm gonna do this lesson on the Chariots of Yahawah, the Chariots of Israel. I'm gonna play a quick short video, so bear with me, and then I'm gonna jump into the scriptures and show you how the video parallels with the scriptures.
UFOs have been the stuff of conspiracy theorists for decades, often mocked for talking about it, but maybe they shouldn't be mocked. Commander David Fravor spent 18 years as a naval aviator, a pilot. In 2004, he had an unforgettable encounter with an aircraft he said was defying the laws of physics. Former Commander Fravor joins us tonight. Thanks a lot for coming on tonight. Tell us what you saw.
Well, we had launched on a routine training mission. When we joined up, we were told that the event was going to be canceled, and that we had real-world tasking, and we were sent out to the west. Now, take in mind that this has taken place about 100 miles southwest of San Diego, between San Diego and Ensenada, Mexico.
Yep.
On a clear, perfect day, blue waters. We get out to the spot where they tell us it's at. We start looking around, and both airplanes see a disturbance in the water and a white 40-foot long tic-tac shaped object just hovering above the water, going forward, back, left, right. There's no rotor wash, there's no wings, nothing. So as we drive around in a clockwise flow, we get to about the 9 o'clock position, and I said, well, I'm going to go down and check it out, and the other jet is going to stay high. So as we go down, when we get to the 12 o'clock position, it starts to mirror us. So it's in a clockwise flow, and it's on the opposite side of the circle from us. And we continue this. It's in a climb, we're in a descent. We're getting a great look at it. This whole thing takes probably up to 5 minutes from the time we show up. I get over to the 8 o'clock position. It's at about the 2 o'clock position, and I decide I'm going to go and see what it is, and it's about 2,000 feet below me. And I cut across the circle, and as I get within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerates to the south in about 2 seconds and disappears.
What would you estimate the speed?
Oh, well above supersonic. It like a bullet out of a gun, it took off.
So from what you know about aerodynamics, mechanics, physics, should this be possible, what you saw?
Not with the technology that we have today. Not at all.
Even now, even 13 years later, is there anything that you know of capable of this kind of behavior?
No, there's nothing I know of. I mean, when we saw the video with the IR, it has no exhaust, no discernible things of anything form of propulsion. And this thing came from a dead hover over the water, just kind of moving around, to a climb up to about 12,000 feet to rapidly accelerating away in a climb, and in less than 2 seconds it was gone. And you figure you're talking 50 miles of visibility, and you can easily see an object that size easily out to 10 miles, and it just disappeared in seconds.
What would be the effects on a human pilot of the G-forces involved in that altitude change?
Well, the altitude wouldn't be bad. It would be the acceleration of the object.
That's right.
Honestly, I wanted to fly it.
Yeah,
but, I bet. There's, talking to some physicists, they don't think
Edomites can't fly the Chariots.
That kind of force with that acceleration.
It doesn't sound like the human body could. So bottom line, what do you think this was?
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Something not from this world.
Presumably you expressed that belief to your superiors. What did they say?
Well, actually, we caught a lot of grief getting back to the boat, and it got passed off as an event that no one could explain. Now, keep in mind, they had been tracking these for 2 weeks prior to us seeing it, and this was the first time that manned airplanes had been airborne.
You see the caption, not of this world.
This feels like a really big story to me. It's not exactly clear why Vladimir Putin's more interesting than this. I think this seems like a big deal. And Commander, I appreciate your taking the time to talk to us about it. You seem sober and believable, and I appreciate it.
Why, thank you very much, Tucker.
Thanks.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Christopher from BC.
All right, so there's the video I wanted to show you. Now let's going to jump into the scriptures. The first one I'm going to look at is 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. Because you heard the guys talking about the G-force and how would a human body be able to withstand that speed, right, of the chariot. So here's the answer. It's not going to be an Edomite in those chariots, and it's but let me just read the scripture. 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. All right, so let me read 53. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. All right, so this verse right here is explaining the deliverance of the men of Yahawah and the elect who are getting taken up in in the so-called UFOs, in the chariots during the nuclear thermal fire, burning Babylon, America. So it says in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, and then at the last part of it says, we shall be changed. All right, so our bodies, these earthly bodies, are not going to inherit the kingdom. In the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, as we're getting raised up in those chariots, our bodies are going to change. We're going to get those heavenly bodies. We're going to get our dark skin back, and that's how it's going to go down. That's how we'll be able to sustain those chariots and that speed. All right, I just wanted to touch on that, because he brought it up. How could a body or human body, he said, how can a human body withstand that G-force? Well, there's your answer. Because our bodies are going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. I'm going to jump to Revelations 18 and 17. It says, because these chariots, you heard how he was saying that it was going up and down at the speed of a bullet, right? Light, what do you say, sonic speed? So when the beast system and the armies of this world try and fight the chariots of Yahawah, it's gonna be a huge blowout. Yahawah's gonna destroy this place very quickly. All right, it's only gonna take 1 hour. So let me read it. Revelation 18 and 17. The chariots are gonna literally destroy the Space Force, the Air Force, the Army, everything. The Esau's army has no chance when he's going to face off against Yahweh Shai and the Lord of Hosts, Yahawah. All right? Revelation 18 and 17. And the Lord of Hosts means the Lord of armies. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city, which is America, Babylon? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Okay? So Yahweh's going to destroy America, and it's only going to take him 1 hour. Okay? Those chariots are going to be shooting lasers. The nuclear missiles are going to take part in the destruction. The Leviathan is going to come out of its place, which is not just one Leviathan, many Leviathans, or also known as big serpents, dragons, also, according to the scriptures, are going to help with the desolation and the destruction of America, Babylon. All right. I'm going to go to John. And we're going to go to 18. Well, let's go to 15 first. 15 and 19. Says, okay, so you saw the caption. The pilot, the Navy pilot, he said that it, what he saw was out of this world. It was not from this world. So here's a scripture on it. John 15 and 19. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right? Because Yahawah Shai, his prophets, Yahweh's prophets, and Yahweh Shai is the first prophet, the first fruit. He's not of this world, and neither are the prophets, right? Because remember, a big part of this truth is separating ourselves from the world, right? Because the world is very wicked, and we need to make changes when we're in this truth. So right there it says that he's speaking, this is Yahweh Shai speaking to the elect, telling them, hey, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right, and the world hates this message. Christians hate the fact that we're bringing out this truth that the Bible is not for everybody in every nation. All right, it's not for the heathen. All right, so I'm going to jump to John again, and we're going to go to 18:36. And second verse on the top, from the top. Yahweh Shai answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. So again, Yahweh Shai is saying, hey, the kingdom is not of this world. Those chariots, so-called UFOs, they're not of the world, okay? They're heavenly, celestial, it's a celestial, not a terrestrial issue, So Yahweh Shai again, he says in 36, my kingdom is not of this world, okay? And just like that guy, that Navy guy said that whatever he saw, it was not from this world, okay? And then I'm going to jump to Psalms. We're going to go to 104, verse 3. And this is talking about Yahweh, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. All right, so he can make the clouds his chariot. Okay, that's why when people have UFO sightings, a lot of the times they see strange shaped clouds that, they'll take pictures or videos of it because it's literally a chariot, and they can shapeshift. Yahweh's technology is far beyond Esau's technology, the so-called white man. Okay, so it says right there in verse 3 on Psalms 104 about Yahweh, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So right there it says he makes the clouds his chariot. He has that power. He has that ability. All right. And I'm going to go to Acts chapter 1 and verse 9. And this is speaking of Yahweh Shai when he was taken up in a cloud in his so-called UFO, a chariot. It says, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So what do we just read? The clouds are his chariots. He can make the clouds his chariots. So now here it's telling you that Yahawah was taken up and a cloud received him. All right. And let me keep reading. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahawah, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. All right. So the angel was telling him, hey, Yahawah, just the same way you seen him leave in this chariot, in this cloud, he's coming back that way. And that's why Donald Trump has expressed, or actually, not even expressed, he talked about his Space Force. Because the Most High Yahawah is going to put the spirit on these Edomites and also these other heathen nations to make war with the saints and make war with Yahawah when he comes back on those chariots. They even show you in their movies, every time they show you a movie with a so-called UFO chariot, what are they doing? It's an alien invasion, what they call it. And they're fighting them. And in their movies, in Esau's movies, he gets the victory. But according to the Bible, in Revelations 18 and 17, we'll go back to it real quick. According to the Bible, Esau's not going to get the victory like he does in his movies. Because it says right here in 18:17 again, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? All right, and when they say her burning, they're referring to America. All right, because America is the whore, the great whore, the spoken of in Revelation. Babylon, the great whore of Babylon. All right. So that's what it is, man. These chariots are going to assist in the destruction. And really quick, because I've been studying and prophesying for the last probably 4 years, something like that. And I have a little girl, she comes up to me, she says, Daddy, while you study, is it okay, can I study with you? And she just finished kindergarten. But I just wanted to share this with the brothers, because she was sitting next to me drawing while I was studying. And, I looked over, and to my surprise, this is what she drew. And that says chariots on the bottom. That's what it's supposed to say. She's in kindergarten, so she just kind of, sounded it out. Here, let me get that again. So there it is. There's her chariots. And then she also drew this picture. Hold on. Oh, there it is. That one right there. So the one on the left is supposed to be Edomites. She's still working on her spelling. And the one on the right is Israelites. She made the people from the Israelites bigger, more glorious in her picture. All right. So let me go back to the chariots real quick. I thought that was a cool picture she drew. So there it is, the chariots. And I called the brother y'all just to kind of share with him my testimony. My daughter, my little girl, my kindergartner. And he brought this scripture into remembrance. Let me pull it out real quick. This is Joel 2:28. He reminded me of this scripture. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour, this is Joel 2:28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. All right, and we're living in that time where Yahweh is pouring that spirit upon the flesh of, starting out with the Israelites. Okay. So, and then another one that Kal had brought into remembrance when I told him about my daughter's drawings. Let's see, 8. Psalms 8:2. Because my daughter, she's still, young. But it says Psalms 8:2. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. All right. So, out of her mouth, out of her hands, she drew that picture, I mean, she's seen me teach. She's seen me do my videos. She's heard me, I talk a lot about it. I never really sat her down and taught her too much. I mean, I have, here and there a little bit. But what I've noticed is that these scriptures really, these revelations have really stuck with her more so than my older kids, So she just turned 6. And I have, an 18-year-old also, and a 10-year-old. But the 6-year-old is the one who I'm kind of astonished at the way she, what she knows without, very little instruction or teaching. But the point of this lesson is not my daughter. It's more the chariots and their capabilities and what those chariots are, to us. They're our salvation. So, with that being said, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Ha-Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. And I want to acknowledge all of the Akiam pushing this truth in the streets with sincerity. Shalom, Akiam. Shalom to the elect.